Good afternoon, everybody. Well, I picked up a few items from the cellar of the old house that's going to be torn down, where I had my workshop both in the cellar and in the attic. And I got some items here that I figured I'd take back with me. Engine paint, never used. Stainless steel pop rivets. More engine paint. Krylon. They're rusty, but as far as I know, they're still good. They never freeze. Nothing is ever frozen down there. Some screws. And not sure what this is, but it's I think it's pulling seals out of an engine. I started working on learning how to do a Dodge 1974 318 engine. The blocker's still down there, trying to rebuild it, but I never went any further than buying a few things. I got a piston ring compressor that goes, I think, from 2.5 to 4 inches or 4.5 inches or something like that. That's still down there, never used. That I did not bring back with me because I don't plan on doing that kind of work. Anyways, that's what I got here. But what I got here is an electric pump that I took back that was down in the cellar. And sadly, the motor is seized up on this. I'll give you a little history of this. This was a buddy of mine's who died of cancer about 10 years ago, and he gave me this thing almost 40 years ago. And I used it, actually 35 years ago to be exact. And we used it to pump a 55-gallon of kerosene from his parents' house. They were converting over to, I guess, gas or something. And I lived in a mobile home in another part of the town here. And this was about 1978 or 79. I didn't live here then. And we had kerosene, so he had a 55-gallon drum. We brought it up in my old van I had, not the one that you've seen that was customized, but I had one before that. And we pumped the whole kerosene, 55 gallons, using this. It worked fine. It hasn't been used since then, and it ran good. I went to plug it in yesterday. I should have made a video of it. And I thought the pump was seized. Well, the pump is seized, but I freed it. But the motor is seized. It's apparently impedance protected, so it ran very warm, didn't blow a fuse or anything. So we're going to take off the pump again, and I'll give you some insight on it here. And maybe, I don't know, I tried to turn the shaft with the pliers, and that didn't work. So why the motor seized up? It's been sitting in the cellar on a workbench for all these years, and other than the cellar being damp, I wouldn't think that would cause the motor to seize up. I had this all off yesterday, as I said, and I figured I'd make a video of it. So, fine treads. This is kind of an awkward thing to work on because it doesn't, you got to block it up or it'll fall over on me. I've got a Harbor Freight water pump. I made a video of it a couple years ago if you want to refer back to it. But I figured this thing ain't working. So if I'd known the motor was frozen up, and it wasn't when I put it away, when I haven't used it in, like I say, 35 years. If I had known that, I would have left it over there. I don't need another piece of heavy iron sitting over here in the shed. I didn't bother cleaning out anything. Apparently it doesn't use a gasket in here. There's no gasket here. If this is a gasket, there's a piece of plastic broken off in here. I just noticed. This is seized up now only because the motor is seized up. So normally if I'd clean this all out, you know, wire brush it down and so forth. But now, gotta hit it. Okay. Now in here, there's a screw here. There's screw thread. I don't know if you can actually see that. The camera's put way up on the tripod and I can't see the viewfinder. So I'm kind of moving it around here and hopefully you can see that. There's a screw here that apparently screws into the shaft of the motor. So as I'm turning that, this was frozen, but it's clear now. And all I pumped with this is kerosene. I didn't pump anything else with it. So anyways, we put that over here. Now, this part I will remove 4 screws here. I'll get a little smaller screwdriver in here. I had all this out, like I say, yesterday, and I really should have tried it out over in the workshop because I did have power down the cellar. And matter of fact, I plugged it in down there, but I wasn't sure if I had power to the outlet because I had no way of testing it. I didn't have a meter or anything, nor a drop light that I could have tried it out in. So okay, so this is the other part of it. Now, let me see if I can get you closer here. All right, now, there's no oil cups on the motor. There is an oil cup on the bearing here for the pump. But right now that's free. So we're not worried about that, but there's no bearing cups. Now, this thread that I showed you here screws into this center hole here. This whole thing is supposed to turn, and it doesn't. But it doesn't turn. Can't move it. Now I could put a vice grip on it and probably hammer it. Now I thought of taking the motor bolts out, but if that's frozen, you're not even going to get this cover off. But I will give it a try. I will try to take these nuts off anyways and try to get this part of the motor open. Why this thing would seize up, I don't know, but there is no place to oil it. I did put some penetrating oil down here yesterday. And there don't seem to be any places here to oil. This is not an oiler here, just a flat spot. Maybe in a different model motor it might have been. So what I'm going to do is come back on the video in a minute. I'm going to go get the sockets to fit in here and take off this assembly. This is Eastern Industries, made here right in Hamden, Connecticut, about 50 miles from where I live. So this is it says GE on the back of the motor. So we'll come back on the video in a minute. I'm going to try to take these out if I can. Alright, I got a socket here, and I put some 3-in-1 oil in there. That's not the best oil to use, but it's just to free things up maybe.
Oh, let's see if that whole thing will turn underneath. Let me see, I'll try this one. I can feel it with my hand underneath there. And that one seems to be okay. Well, the whole thing is turning, so I'm going to have to break these off by setting this down here. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to do it that way. I have to put the motor this way so that I can get a screwdriver, which would have to be a flat blade, of course. It's very hard to hold a flat blade into the slot when you're manipulating the other side. But, all right. All right, we'll get the nut off of that one. Some of them you don't have to hold it with a screwdriver, the others you do. You know, I bother with stuff like this, and sometimes I wonder if it's worth it, but it did work. It worked very well as a pump 35 years ago. I don't know why, just sitting on a shelf in a damp, but the motor never got wet in a damp cellar. So, should really speed this part of the video up here so it doesn't become too boring for you. This one here, gotta really hold that screwdriver on there. Alright, and one more. Let's see if we get that one. Always the last one. You know, all my life, the last bolt is always the hardest. Everything I've ever worked on is always the last one that gives you the hardest. Must be a different size nut. I can't seem to get at it. I'll come back on the video.
Alright. Great difficulty getting that one out. Alright, now, put the blocks back under here. I doubt I'll be able to get this out, but come back in a minute here. I gotta get a small hammer. Alright, it's the smallest I've got.
I think because the bearing is seized in there, I doubt very highly you'll be able to get this out. Not even moving. Not even moving.
Well, I've been banging on this thing for a while now, and it's not moving, not at all, and that's what I figure. Now, I don't want to do this, but it's no damn good anyways. I couldn't move it with the channel locks, the shaft. So I hate to do this, but I'm going to have to put a vice grip on it to see if I can free it. Now, if the rear bearing over here is seized, you can't get into it, not without taking the back cover off, and I can't get anything in it. Now, I could probably drive a chisel down in here and force it open. I'm not going to do that. That kind of butchers things up. But I hate to do this, but this motor is locked. And basically, I should have left it there. I should have left it where it was. No, it's not tight enough. I don't like to do this. It really messes it up, but okay. I know it's not turning. I think it's just buggering up the threads. Now if I could shock it. I don't know if yeah, I guess I'm in camera. Sometimes shocking it like that with the hammer blows on the, I don't like to bang on my tools like this. That's not moving. It's not moving. That is in there permanently. So you'd never be able to get this off. It's scrap iron, that's all it is. But I did want to make a video of this. When I plug it in, it doesn't blow the breaker, but the motor gets very warm in a short time. You don't hear any humming. I think it's impedance protected. But nothing you can do about that. That's frozen right tight. That's solid. So I'm not going to plug it in because this shaft is frozen tight. It's not going to work. Nope, it's scrap iron. I tightened the vice grip up on this thing where it started chewing this shaft up. I banged on the shaft this way. That didn't do nothing. I'm not even going to attempt to get this cover off because you're not going to do it with a frozen bearing. It just can't be done. So they're going to throw it in the scrap pile. I should have left it over this down the cellar. Next time I go down there, I'll probably take it and throw it down the cellar. I don't need any more junk over here. But I did want to make a video on this and give you some entertainment. It's just scrap iron, that's all it is. Probably could use that because the pump seems to be okay. As for the motor, it's locked up, and I even tried a vice grip on it real tight. All I did is bugger it up. It's locked up. So the motor's trash. But at least I'll save the pump. Probably can use the pump maybe on a drill some way if I can figure out a way of fastening it on. What do we got here? Is this a chipmunk? No, it's a little birdie. Now that's the second little birdie I've seen around here. Hope Sammy don't see it. I've seen a bigger one that couldn't fly. He went up about 20 feet and went down to the ground. Nothing I can do about it. Next day I saw him sitting upright, but he was dead. So, not much I can do. I'm no expert on these things. There's plenty of seed down here. There's all kinds of sunflower seeds down here we can eat. Hopefully he can survive. Alright, that concludes the video. That's all I'm doing for today.